All right, everyone, welcome back to the Golf Unfiltered podcast. My name is Adam Fonseca over at golfunfiltered.com. We're getting back to our roots here, folks. It's been a very busy golf season, and so I'm always excited to speak to entrepreneurs like my friends over at Popticals Sunglasses. We've got Gary, we've got Dana DiSalvo. They are the founders of Popticals. Guys, it's not too often that we get two guests on the show. It's so nice to see both of you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Husband, wife, come in this package.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. That's great. I totally understand. So we're going to talk all about your outstanding golf sunglasses. And I say that specifically, golf sunglasses, which is something that is a very big differentiator from your products. Before we get into all that, though, why don't you let our listeners know a little bit about how you got started in the golf sunglass business? That's a very niche approach there.
Yeah. So I had been working, took a break from work, a little sabbatical there, and Dana had her own little business, and I was helping her out a lot, and really just wanted to do something. We kind of wanted to do something together, and so we were looking for an opportunity. Popticals was actually on the market a few years back. It was invented here in St. Louis. Started to gain some momentum, and for whatever reasons, the owner had some personal issues, and it had nothing to do with the glasses himself, and had to shut down. And fortunately, it was one of those things that we found the brand at the time. It came out of nowhere for us, but as soon as we saw it, we knew immediately there was a lot of value here. And Popticals itself is a line of sunglasses, premium sunglasses, not just for golf, but our premier product and our main focus. And what we're noticing is a lot of the most attention that we're getting is around golf. And I think for good reason. We have a product that's unique in the marketplace, not just because they compact, like you might be seeing in the videos behind us, but also our lenses for golf are made specifically for golf. And we can talk about that a little bit if you like, and why they actually help and will help enhance your game.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great product that golfers always wear. Like I know I wear sunglasses every single time I play. And I normally wear contacts, but when I want to look professional, I put on my eyeglasses. But it's funny because every one of my friends, they wear sunglasses when they go and play. And it's one of those things that you don't really think too much about. But now you break into the scene specific to the golf space. What has early feedback been like when you promote this to the millions of golfers around the country and world?
Yeah, well, the first thing is golfers, as you know, I'm a golfer myself. We'll buy anything or do anything that we think will help us improve the game. So as soon as you say golf, you have their attention immediately, right? But then you got to back it up. And so, the reaction has been super positive. From the media and also from people that try them on, wear them, and played with them, you'll recognize immediately that you're seeing something different. Right. And that's the start of it. Right. So now I know I'm seeing something different, but for most of us, what do I do with that? Right. Now I have more information and better information. Now, what do I do with it? And you talked about sunglasses and looking professional. It's funny. We're working with a couple of pros, like talking through and trying to figure out, and some eye doctors, because when I first wore them, I recognized that I'm seeing something different. But now what am I looking at? And I think part of our deal is going to be, we need to make sure we're educating people on what sunglasses you should wear. Dana gave a great analogy yesterday. You wouldn't wear tennis shoes to go to the beach, and you're not going to wear flip-flops to go jogging, right? And so there's different types of sunglasses and combinations you would use based on the activity that you're doing. I was talking to a tour pro yesterday. He says he wears sunglasses, and he was talking through it, and we were talking about what we have to offer, which I'll get into here. But, and actually a putting coach for many tour players, prominent tour players we were talking to last week, was also saying the same thing, that they're wearing sunglasses, which is good. It's a start. It's protecting your eyes. But even the pros aren't necessarily wearing the right sunglasses to help enhance their performance. And so there's a few elements that we have that make these specific for golf and that will help people. Number one is they're non-polarized on purpose. So polarization flattens the images you see. There's a lot of practical applications for polarized. I think we've been groomed to think that, you know, polarized is the best, right?
Right.
And it is in a lot of cases. But for golf, it's flattening the image. You don't want to do that. We want to see the course. We want all of our depth perception, which you lose some of that when you wear polarized sunglasses. Also, peripheral vision, you're going to lose that with polarized glasses. So we offer a wraparound feature on every pair, and the non-polarization, which is going to keep depth perception and peripheral vision intact. The other thing is, green is one of the most receptive colors to the eyes. Our eyes love it. They just drink green in all day. And golf courses, there's green everywhere. So the lenses we use are purple and violet tints, and that's intentional because purple and violet will help filter the green color out and kind of mutes it, is what it ends up doing. And so what that allows us to do is see small discolorations in the green specifically that are going to show us where different contours and ridges are, right? If you're lucky enough to play in a place where the grain, being able to read the grain is really important, you're going to see the grain for the first time, most of us, right? So having those little clues and tips is going to be really beneficial to anybody. And again, then it's more about, I think, where our mission is going to be is to help educate you on now, what do you do with that? What do you do when you see the different color patches on the green? What does that mean? And so forth. So, and I think the first thing anyone will notice is the depth perception. I never realized that my depth perception, especially wearing polarized glasses, you started knocking it closer to the pin. They weren't going in every time yet, but even 2-3 feet versus 7-8 feet, that's something that happens immediately. And then as you train your eyes and you train yourself, like you would with any other piece of equipment or club that you get, you'll start to you'll be able to really take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a often overlooked component of the game, which is weird to say. As someone like myself who I have terrible eyesight, so I need something that can help with those things you were just talking about. My depth perception, awful. Any of my friends that play with me, they would tell you the same. Absolutely awful. And so when I had the chance to try out a pair of the Popticals sunglasses, you were all kind enough to send me over a test pair to use. First of all, I opened up the box, and Dana, I don't know if this was something because when you had started, you had mentioned that you wanted to get into to do something different than what you were doing as well. So explain to me the premise as you understood it. Foldable sunglasses. So I'm holding up from our folks on YouTube. This is the case. There are sunglasses in here. This is not the size of a sunglass case that you normally see. Dana, what has been the feedback, like the first impression that people give when they see this?
They're shocked. It's definitely shocked. They're like, you got to be kidding me. This is like a trick or something. But and we like to say that they're more than foldable. They collapse, because foldable would mean that they go like this, and both the lenses are exposed on the outside. We definitely want to keep our sunglasses protected. So ours collapse. They spoon one lens over another. But the reaction of people when they see them is just pure shock, in my opinion. And
then they wonder, can these possibly be any good if they're something
like, how does it work and stuff? And they're extremely durable. The rail system mechanism is makes it very easy for any user to operate them, and we have the magnet, which helps pop them into place. And then the protective case that goes along with it to keep your investment very safe.
Well, in looking at this, so shock was the first thing that I was like, okay,
exactly.
What do we look at?
Right?
Yeah. And so for our listeners and our viewers, here is the collapsible sunglasses. I just took them out of the case. And to your point, I just slide here and they snap into place really nicely at the bridge by the nose. So now it looks more like your traditional sunglasses. And then the arms fold out here, and they feel like premium sunglasses. I mean, there are movable parts on this, but it doesn't feel, for the lack of a better phrase, flimsy or cheap. I mean, how did you achieve that?
Well, again, we got lucky to walk into a situation where the product development was there for the frames themselves, and we have
Right.
10 different frames and styles right now. We have
my
an
glasses
11.
out real quick. Just like
Oh,
look
yeah,
at
that
those.
looks
Not
great.
too bad, right?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Everything's
Yeah.
purple. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Everything's purple.
So yeah, I mean, so in the engineering is what made it even trickier, and I think it kind of happened by default why they had to collapse, because wanted to offer the feature of wraparound sunglasses, right? I mean, you don't want the side light and all that. And so what if it was foldable? Well, you could have cranked these out, no problem. Just stick a hinge in the middle, right? But for having that wraparound part, that's where that technology comes in. So we were fortunate enough to have the technology behind these different frame styles. Every frame style we come out with, that's a whole new engineering process to make sure that they, how they end up coming together. And so what that allows us to do with those different frame styles, we'll obviously continue to develop more frame styles as we go along. But what it allows us to do is now play with the colors for aesthetics, right, of the frames themselves, but more specifically the lenses, and continue to evolve. A lot of the folks that follow us are outdoor enthusiasts. They're golfers, they're fishermen, hunters, people that are outside. But then there's also, Dana loves these, right? And I would say probably 30 or 40% of our inventory or SKUs would be ones that would have been the typical sunglasses she would have purchased previous to this, with the more designer look and feel, right?
Sure.
The ones you're wearing are sporty, right? So now that we have these frame styles, now we can start to kind of expand that, and again, try to continue to develop the lenses and continue to get better. And but right now, like I said, out of all the different products we have, the golf one is the most evolved, and that's where, again, it's, you asked about the reaction. It's shock a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's courses I've played a couple hundred times, and I've noticed new things on them now, and I'm like, well, I'm an idiot. I kept hitting it over there forever. Right. Like I always play this line and I know it's not right. Now I know why. So, yeah, that's the luxury that we have now, is that we get to really try to amp up the lens technology. And I don't know if we mentioned this part. It's probably the most important part. Is we partner with Carl Zeiss Vision, which is a premier provider of lenses, like the best. And not only is the quality of their lenses, we're using a unique lens there. It's made out of nylon, which makes it as clear as glass, essentially as clear as glass. But the weight, you notice, so you said you pulled it out, a lot of moving parts. That pair in your hand weighs less than 1 ounce.
It's extremely lightweight. Absolutely.
1 ounce. Yeah.
They're super comfortable to wear. I brought these, so we had friends over for Friendsgiving, and I brought these out. I'm like, it's like, you guys got to see this. This is a. Then I bring it out, and they're like, come on, same thing. They're like, there's not sunglasses in that case. They tried it on. They said, oh my God, where's the website? So I sent them the website and all that. And so it was a hit. You saved Friends Givemas. That was wonderful. And they're all golfers, and they're wondering, okay, well, we need to get these on the course. Obviously, as we said, living in the Midwest, not a lot of golf being played right now, but even just walking outside, looking at our lawn, for example, we're seeing the things that you're describing. And I could only imagine when finally I'm able to get out on the course, how this is going to benefit my game. Now, Gary, you were mentioning that you've also been speaking with touring pros, and let's talk about golfers who, as a whole, we are pretty picky with anything that we do for our games. Pros take it to another level, don't they?
They take it to another level, for sure. But as I mentioned, just talking to some of their coaches as well, right? Like, we're trying to, we want to be able to educate people on this. And so talking to their coaches, I'm a little surprised right now that you are seeing more players wear sunglasses on the course. You're starting to see that. But a lot of them aren't necessarily, just because you put a tag saying they're golf sunglasses, they're not necessarily golf sunglasses. So the pro I was talking to yesterday, again, he said he's wearing polarized glasses, and he was kind of getting mad at himself a little bit. But one consistent theme that came out of all of them, not necessarily about the lenses, is about the benefits, which I thought was really interesting. A lot of talk about get visual endurance and eye fatigue, and how much stress that actually puts on the rest of your body. And the pro I talked to yesterday was, he was saying that he went back and watched some films, and he realized like he was squinting, old films he's been playing for a while, where he's squinting and stuff, and he can remember that day. And now that he's starting to realize what it's like to actually, first of all, just protect your eyes from the sun, because they weren't allowed to wear sunglasses, or they were not encouraged to wear sunglasses then. And just the general feeling and the stress of 4 hours being in the sun and squinting a lot. Notice how much they're squinting and stuff. And so being able to make, not put that extra stress on your body. And I maybe underestimated it, but it's a theme when it comes out several times from people who do this, and they actually get paid for it, versus us who probably pay not only the course but our friends to play. Right? So, this is their profession, and that's something that is really a big deal to them, and which is great, because obviously our product helps with that. And the other thing I've noticed is they're not different than us. As far as that, anything that can get you an edge. If there's technology there, I think we might take for granted that they're dialed into every single nuance of every single aspect of the game. And in reality, that's not possible. It is possible, but there's life that gets in the way of everything too, right? And so having eyewear is a check, but do they really dived in, and do they understand? So the more we can simplify that, not only for recreational golfers, but also pros, I think that's going to be a real benefit.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where you don't really think too much about it. Like we've said, you go out on the course, you think about, okay, well, what clubs am I bringing? What golf balls I just bought, all these pieces of equipment. But eyesight, protecting your eyes, especially out in the sun for that long, the story of the pro squinting and that taking a toll on your body, you don't really think of those things. So why wouldn't you go and invest in something that's not only going to help your health, really, your eye health, but also it's going to increase your endurance, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, specifically visual endurance, which has the direct impact on the rest of your body. It's stress that it'll put on it. And so, yeah, I think to your point, it's one of those things that there's a lot of things like that in life where it's this one little thing would help so many other things, but it's just not taking the time to add it in. And I'm a lot like you. I'm blind. I'm fortunate to be able to wear contacts. They're as thick as they possibly can be, but
same.
But it's. I remember when I first got contacts, and even the right prescription glasses and stuff, how I felt like, oh my, that's not green color. There's actually blades of grass there, right? Being able to see those details, and now on top of that, actually displacing the color and being able to see, all right, not only is there blades of grass there, these are sitting a little bit higher than these. That's important for me to know, right? Stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk a little bit about just the business aspect of it. And so, husband and wife go into this, you're looking at something that, let's face it, the golf industry is saturated with all sorts of different things. Dana, maybe from your perspective too, like what's the early days taking this new venture on? What were some of the thoughts going through your head, the things that were keeping you up at night?
What did we do? No. I think after the excitement wore off, it's like we were really trying to wrap our brains around how we get this out to the public, because this is a great product. It really is. We're definitely, in the beginning, we knew we had a golf line, but we really didn't know how important it was until we just started seeing the feedback from our customers and people we were talking to. But so definitely we wanted to hone in on that as one of our top collections. But for me, and I don't know how much he wants this, our main demographic right now is primarily men, and because I love the product so much, I really want to get more of our female base into them, because I'm an active mom of 3 with a business now, and I'm running
Yeah.
around, and I want something that I can just, put in my bag and know that it's going to be safe. And like, so, on that aspect of it, we were trying to figure out how early on too, how we can reach that type of demographic too.
Absolutely.
We're it's just been a really crazy ride, but we're really looking forward to seeing what it is in the future. And we're very excited about, people like you helping us get the word out and getting them in the hands of people to educate them as well on why they are important for the activities that they're using them for. So
Certainly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that to that point about the demographics. So one of my partners here at Golf Unfiltered is Nikki Dunnigan. Our listeners know who that is. She's down in Atlanta, and she's a mom, 4-year-old, and she and I have many conversations about, hey, let's face it, most people who watch this golf stuff, they're a bunch of dudes. How can we get to more women? And my wife, she was looking at this. She loves them. She was looking at the website. She's like, okay, well, where can I go and try them on? Which kind of leads to my next question. I know on the website, you've got the try on feature, which is really cool. Do you have storefronts right now? And if not right now, is that in the plans for the future?
Right now, we do not. Right. So we were launched online, and I think that was step one. Right. And then so now step two is, as we, start to get these out there and so forth, looking at the different distribution channels out there, whether we, I don't think we'll open up our own stores anytime soon, but trying to get them into stores for people to see and touch it. It's something that you do want to see, touch, and feel, right? You want to make sure that they fit you. And I think that's one of the reasons we knew it'd be a little while in the stores. And that's why we invested in that virtual try on. And it is, it might look like a, Snapchat filter or whatever, but it's not. I mean, it's fine tuned to wherever you're holding the phone or computer. When you hit that button, it's going to be true to fit as long as you're in that same spot. That one little, there's like a half a second of black screen, and it's measuring your face, right? And so, I mean, that's one of the best things we could do. And then also have a return policy that's fair, right? Things like that. That people do want to try them, and maybe it's not the right fit. We've had that happen a couple of times, and like, well, this wasn't the one that's the right fit. So I think those are things we'll have to do in the beginning until we figure out the distribution channels to get out there. But again, one of the things that Dana and I, we've had other businesses, we have another business too, and everything we do is really just focused around, or tries to be focused around the client experience and how to make it easy on the customer and all this. And so, on us, until we have in the stores, we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we make it as easy and simple an experience, because we're consumers too. We hate it when it's like, just let me return this if I don't want it, or let me ship it back, or whatever the case is, right? You missed something, why do I have to wait 3 weeks for you to ship out the other piece? Whatever it takes to make it right, and to make sure that it's a good experience from start to finish always. That's what we're going to do.
I think it's important to note too that because we don't have a storefront where somebody could go in and try them on, we've really made our website robust in the fact of the virtual try-on. If you're looking for a specific pair, we have a quiz that you can, it's smart, and it'll tell you, like, after you answer questions, it starts narrowing down, says, okay, these are your top 3 choices based on your answers. And then on each page of our website, under the product details, we have like the exact measurements for the sunglasses, because everybody's face frame is different, right? So we've really just tried to make the website very all-inclusive to any buying experience for our customers.
And that's one thing we've noticed so far. I think we are doing okay with that, because the amount of traffic that comes in with questions before a purchase or after, we designed a self-service tool to try to make it easy for us, but also for the customers. We get very few messages before a buy, before a purchase. And I think that's kind of a testament to just trying to get it set up the right way to where you should be able to get all the information you need. Now, obviously, we're going to continue to improve that and evolve that, but I think that's one thing that, we set it all up expecting a lot of questions, and I think we're answering them before they get there, which is good.
It's a great website. I mean, anyone and listeners, for your sake, if you've ever ordered anything online from any eyeglass website, some of the big ones that I won't mention now, but I certainly spend a lot of time on those websites, and they've got the virtual try on, and yours is the exact same thing. It feels the exact same way. I actually, as a test, went in, and the ones that I tried on your virtual, it looks exactly the same as if I was looking in a mirror. So it's really great. Dana, you had mentioned the measurements at the bottom of the screen. And for our listeners, here's what she was mentioning that is on the bottom of every glasses option. So you can really get a good look at how they look. And I should also mention that you all have some great extra perks, such as free shipping for orders totaling over $75. You've got that 30-day return, as well as a 2-year manufacturer warranty, which, I mean, you really don't have anything to lose on trying out these sunglasses. You've done a great job of setting that up.
Yeah.
There's actually one thing I don't think we do a good enough job talking about. We also have a protection plan that you don't pay for. It's part of your warranty. It's like an extended warranty, or whatever you want to call it. But essentially, the way I summarize it is the manufacturer warranty is if we send you something that's not working properly or doesn't function properly because something we did, that's on us. We replace it, right? Sure. If you break them, you step on them, you run over them, whatever. You drive the cart over
your
them.
Dog eats it, your kid steps on it.
Then, during that warranty period, you send us the pieces back, whatever's left, and $75, and we'll get you a new pair.
Nice.
Right. So it's kind of my bad, your bad, whatever. There's a way to go through it. And that's included, as opposed to, I always hate deciding, should I pay this $18 for this insurance on this product? You never do it. And there's some things you decide to do it on. So we were going to go that route. And we decided, let's just make it easy. Let's just kind of give it to them, because you're paying a deductible anyway later. Let's just pay it if you need it. Right.
Yeah. That's true. No, that's a great add-on, and it's something that you don't see too often, quite honestly, from especially in the golf space. So I know we're up against the clock here. Just a few other questions, and thanks again to both of you for joining. This is a fantastic product, folks. I mean, I can't say enough about it. The glasses themselves look great. They feel great. They're extremely lightweight. The cool part and the easy storage of the collapsible functionality is something that you're not going to see anywhere else. But I want to hear from both of you. Okay. So I want to know what you're most excited about for 2024 about Popticals, and something that our listeners could help you with. So I'll give you some time to think about it. I know there's a lot of golf courses that watch this show, and you all know who I'm talking about because we talk often. Get these into your pro shop. Contact me. We'll talk to the DiSalvos here. We'll get these into your pro shops. I'm sure, I don't mean to be making promises for you, but I'm sure that you'll have those conversations. But let's go back to what you're excited about regarding Popticals for 2024. Dana, let's start with you.
Well, definitely the golf tour coming up. So that's getting out there for that, and getting back out the season for the golf. But we are looking to release a new product in the beginning of the year. It's a ballistics line, which is pretty exciting, and it's ANSI certified. So that's going to come to the market beginning of the first quarter next year. So
awesome.
ANSI Plus.
ANSI Plus. I'm
ANSI
sorry,
Plus.
I forgot the bonus, the plus.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting to be offering that side of the business to those consumers as well.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I mean, we've had Popticals for over a year now, and but we didn't launch till October 1st. And the reason being is all those things that we talked about. And so we're the brilliant ones who launched a sunglass company at the beginning when winter was starting. But obviously we were doing testing and all those things during the summer, and we did get them in some people's hands. And what I'm most excited about really is this sun to come back out and get these in people's hands. And I think, you said your listeners, as soon as they try them, just the reaction, nobody's been just being nice to us and telling us, these are okay. Like, it's almost blown away kind of reaction once you get on the course,
Yeah.
if there's green grass out there, right? And so for me, it's excited to get some of these folks who are buying them now in the wintertime. We're, starting to use them, but once they hit the course and they get out there and they're telling their friends, and where it could go from there, because it's like I said, it's different. It's different. One reaction I didn't mention earlier, I know, but the first time I wore them, one thing I didn't realize, I knew about the green being overwhelming and overpowering, but after about 6 holes, my brother and I were playing, and the first time wearing them, and we knew we were seeing something different, but we're like, what exactly were we looking at? And we took them off for a minute, and it felt like we were being interrogated, and it wasn't because of the light. It was the ground. It was just like,
yeah,
it was just, it's wild.
Yeah. It's a different way to look at the world in a lot of ways. It's a game that I've played for close to 30 years. I mean, I'm sure you've all played for a long time, and you're looking at it differently. And even when driving, I should have mentioned that I do wear these when driving, and they're great. They're absolutely great. I need to wear sunglasses. I'm one of those people that, I get blinded by the sun. That's what I was gifted with, I guess. And so I need to wear something like that. These are fantastic. They're extremely well made. Even with the movable parts, you wouldn't think it, but it's extremely versatile. They look fantastic. Kudos to you all for doing this. And I want to say to our listeners as well, go out to popticals.com, our YouTube viewers. You can see the address on the screen right there to learn more. You've got a lot of different versions, a lot of different flavors, so to speak, of the sunglasses. You had mentioned that you also have not just for golf, but all sorts of different styles that you can choose from. And you've got some new stuff coming up in 2024 that you already gave us a teaser on. So look forward to seeing more of that. So on behalf of all of our listeners and the rest of the team over at GU, thanks so much for coming on and telling your story. Hopefully we could stay in touch. You guys seem like great people, and we'll hopefully talk again soon.
We would love to hear your reaction to them when you finally do get out on the course. So
I will do. I'll get a mild day out here. I'll sneak out. Don't worry. I'll get something out.
And tell your wife to call me. I'll set her up with a pair.
Awesome. I will let her know. All right.
Thanks so much.